Happy Wednesday, all. Haven't done one of these in about a week because life, because so many excuses I'm sure I could pull out of my fucking ass. But life getting overwhelming and just life being the dick that it has a tendency to be, and insecurities and stuff, because like I said, I don't even know why I'm doing this. It's mainly for me, but the fact that these videos are out there now, I'm just like, oh shit, somebody actually might watch this. But I don't know. There is a point to this. I don't know. I haven't figured out really what the point is yet, besides being able to just talk about shit. But so I guess today what I wanted to talk about is feeling lost and all that good stuff. Like, I don't know, lately I've definitely been up in the stratosphere some fucking where, trying to figure it out, because I guess I feel like I don't have any goals anymore, any purpose. It's not necessarily that I don't have goals. Like, there's still shit that I want to do, shit that I've wanted to do forever that I haven't, put enough time into doing the thing that needs to get done, and putting time into planning and that self-discipline of like trying to chip at it away every day. But I don't know. I mean, like, as humans, we're always changing and things like that, and I don't know. I guess I need to reevaluate some of my goals and see what I actually want to put my time into. And like, I think it was the richest man in Babylon, he had said something along the lines of like, humans have like an unquenching thirst for these like wants, and we think that these wants are needs, and it's kind of is like a consistent deficit to your life, your energy, everything like that. So it's like, he essentially like posed this idea that like, you're always gonna want more than you can have, and you will always want more than what you could do with the means that you have. So pretty much he's like, gather all your wants and pick and choose the most important wants to you, and kind of toss everything else aside. But be okay with tossing, what you're tossing aside, as far as like your goals and stuff go. Recognize like, not necessarily what's realistic versus what's not realistic, and like what's doable versus not, because when it comes down to it, it's like anything's doable. Like, you could do it all. It just, how much work are you going to put into it, So knowing yourself, and knowing what you're going to commit to versus what you're not going to commit to, you can, take your list and really evaluate it. And it's really fucking hard, because we all want everything. It is the life we live. It's the time period. It's society. Whatever the fuck you're gonna classify it. Humans have a sick want and desire for like a lot of stuff. Not to say we're necessarily greedy or selfish, but it definitely is a human characteristic that a lot of us have. Some have figured out how to overcome the ego, I'll call it, but others are in transit, and others are completely and utterly controlled by the ego. And I'm right now just at a point of, I guess, just recognition, my consciousness versus subconscious. My consciousness is aware of these routines, these paradigms, these programs that aren't serving me. And now's the part where you have to move past recognition and move into like an action state, like a doing state, and in your consciousness be in the action and the doing, so that you can effectively replace the old paradigms. Like, they're always going to be there, but You know, it's like that old story of, like, you got the good wolf, you got the bad wolf, like, who's gonna win? Whoever you fucking feed. So if you keep feeding into the bad habits, like, of course that program is going to dominate what you do. So for a long time, you're gonna have to consciously override that programming with the new program, but it takes almost double to triple the amount of effort, because it's not you just deciding to do something new. It's, yes, you deciding to do something new, but it's you deciding to do something new while actively not doing the old thing. So it's like a double task that your mind has to do, and sometimes we just default into the easy stuff, you know. We default into the lack of thought. We default into the just a lack of consciousness, you know, because like our subconscious mind rules a lot of our actions, you know, like breathing and, you know, like the certain motor skills that we have adopted over time. Like, we're not necessarily consciously driving, you know, our mind just kind of does the thing, and then boom, we have arrived at our destination. You know, you're not 100% in the car when you're driving, or, you know, 100% in the moment when you're walking somewhere, and, you know, being super, like, aware of your surroundings and things like that. So we fall into these default programmings, but these programmings don't serve us, and we don't realize that they don't serve us. And then because it's hard, we don't want to put in the work to change it to something that will serve us. And I guess that's where I'm at, is that it's hard. Like, life is fucking hard, and the past couple weeks have just been really draining physically and mentally, and trying to stay consistent in, you know, certain disciplines and habits that I'm trying to do has become very difficult, because my mental state hasn't been the greatest. Like, my mindset hasn't been the greatest, and I'm just in this struggle of trying to figure it out. And, you know, the older I get, I can see or sympathize, relate, understand, whatever adjective works best. I can see how other people's struggles have brought them to places that they're at. But I still don't think it's an excuse to be any kind of way. I don't think it's an excuse to give up. I don't think it's an excuse to go dive into a bottle of liquid, of fucking alcohol, of fucking drugs. Like, I can see why people end up the way they end up, but it is still no excuse to let yourself get there. And it is definitely a lot easier said than done. And maybe that's just me still in my selfish mindset, or me in my non-understanding mindset, whatever it may be. I'm still not going to give, I don't want to qualify it as like the benefit of the doubt, but I can't think of anything better to describe it as, but I'm not going to condone people's behaviors when it comes to certain shit, you know. Because everything in life that we do is a choice, one way or another, you know, whether it turns out good or bad, it is a choice. And I don't know, to go out of your way to hurt someone is unacceptable, you know, but that's a choice that people make. And people make mistakes, and they should, you know, be able to kind of come back from it. But they have to be able to take responsibility and put in the work, just like I have to take responsibility for where I am in life, and for what I'm doing in life and what I'm not doing in life. Like, I have to be able to take responsibility for my actions and move forward and edit and resurface, you know, these things, so that the always changing is there, but it's always changing into something better, not just change for change, you know. It's a conscious, I'm going to change this for this reason, blah, 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 blah. But happy Wednesday, to be continued. Just never forget you're not alone, and to be human and alive is a really hard task, and we just need to remember that our story, whether it's good or bad, is never the best. It's never the worst. Somebody out there has it worse than you, better than you, whatever it may be. Just remember that you're not alone in that feeling of being lost and not knowing what to do with life and being unsure of your footing. You're not alone. I'm learning that that's just the human journey. I don't want to call it necessarily the human struggle because it gives it negative connotation, but the human journey takes a lot of work and a lot of effort and a lot of trying. So just keep trying and listen to other people so that you can gain perspective about your life. Sending good juju worldwide. Have a great day, guys.